What's up? How are we, my friends? How are we? How are we? Really nice to see you today. Just kind of looking to see who's here, who's going on, what's happening. Really happy to have you here for the power of showing up. So we're going to show up today and talk about showing up. So I'll be preaching to the choir, as they say, talking about showing up, talking about the power of that and how it can really, really, really help you change your life and your career and everything about it. Tell a couple of stories. And I have a handout for you today too, as well, so that you can go through this exercise we're going to go through together. Let me get your comments up so I can see all y'all. And then we'll have a handout for you. I'm actually going to, I can't put things in the chat, so I put them on my screen, and then if someone could throw them in the chat, that would be awesome. But just want to say thank you for being here. I'm so excited when you guys show up for these, and even if you're watching the replay, I hope they're really helpful, whether you're watching it in our Facebook group or on our YouTube channel. If you subscribe to our YouTube channel and you click the little bell, then you'll get notified every time we have a new video. So I highly recommend that you do that, because we either do a live training like this every week, or we give you a pre-recorded video every week. We unless we have some other live thing happening, but we do it quite often. So I highly recommend that you join the Facebook group if you're watching on YouTube, or you subscribe to the YouTube channel, because it changes every once in a while on both sides. So, and one can be more convenient than the other, depending on your life. So I'm Carolyn J. Carpenter. If you don't know me, I train people how to be expert readers for the film industry. That's what Hollywood Gatekeepers is all about. How do you read and analyze screenplays? How do you do that for your career? How do you do it for writers? How do you do it for producers? How do you make this happen? I also happen to be a certified life coach. So we dive really deep in our programs. We have many, many programs. I do these free trainings. And then we also have a course that you can take on how to actually analyze and write coverage for screenplays, as well as how to get a gig. It's called Getting the Gig. It goes with that, of how to get a gig as a writer, as a reader. All of that covers, you can take the course as a writer and go through it. You can take the course as a reader and go through it. And we're really, really passionate about training people how to do it. So everything, hi, is Kiana, is that right? Everything is Hollywood Gatekeepers. So Hollywood Gatekeepers is our thing. On Instagram, we're at Screen Readers is our Instagram, but everything else is Hollywood Gatekeepers. And even if you do Hollywood Gatekeepers, we do a lot of hashtags on the Screen Reader Instagram channel, so you'll find us that way as well. Hello. Good to see you. Good to see all y'all here. So happy that you're showing up, because it is the power of showing up. And so as a certified life coach, so we have these trainings that, very tactically show you how to write coverage, how to analyze a screenplay, how to put it all together, all of that very, very succinctly. I've read over 11,000 screenplays. We talk about all of that. But also as a life coach, I really want to help people in the industry at large really manage their lives, because I really feel like the more that you understand your own, highs and lows, the more you understand how to regulate your own life, the more you understand what are the things that are holding you back. One, you'll be a happier person, which, that's a good benefit, but also you'll be able to write stronger stories. One, when you explore your own when you explore your own things and your own, obstacles and your own challenges and your own thoughts that are messing you up, when you explore all of that, then when you go to write a character, you can be way more authentic. And so as a reader, when we're helping writers develop their screenplays, or we're helping producers come up with what the next thing should be, when we have a clear understanding of human behavior, especially our own, we can write universal, authentic screenplays. And in my opinion, the two most important things in a screenplay is that it's universal and that it's authentic. All the other stuff matters, but if it doesn't have those two things where people can relate to it in some way, and that people will buy into it, that it's real, regardless of if it's a cartoon or on another planet or whatever, if it has those two things, people will be far more willing to buy into it. So if it's universal and authentic. So when you have those two things guiding your screenplay, and then you have this understanding of your life and your angst and all of that, you're going to be a better reader, you're going to be a better writer, you're going to have a better life. So that's why we do that. And so that's why today we're talking about the power of showing up. So showing up, when you show up to things like you are right now, again, preaching to the choir, but it's something to think about when you get invitations to things, or when you see things that are happening and you start to wonder, should I show up for that? To be strategic in what you show up for is very important, but also to show up. And so many people, you can be so bombarded with different things that are happening these days. There's so much going on that believe me, I really understand the like, no, I think I'm just gonna, sit in my basement covered in crackers. I think I'm just gonna, curl up with my cat. I think, it becomes very easy to do that with everything that's happening. So I'm going to walk you through a little exercise today that will help you determine how to get started in a career as a reader or writer, but help you determine what you should show up for so that it becomes a simple, easy decision about what you want to show up for. So I'm going to give you a link. I'm going to go ahead and put it on my screen here, and you guys should be able to get that because we have a handout. I'm going to share my screen with the handout as well so that you can see it. So that will take you to a page where you leave your name and email address. And the reason that we do that, we have most of the people in our groups, we already have your email address, but we do it because that helps us know which trainings are more popular so that then we can create new trainings based on the trainings that were most popular. So we really do want to create things that you want. I know that sounds crazy, right? But we really do. We're very sincere about it. So you can go to that, and then I'm going to, hopefully, she says with confidence, sometimes it is a little funky, and not in a good way. Funky is good. Okay. This is what I want to share. So let me share my screen. All right, let me see. Hold on here. Okay. So y'all can see that, I hope, the getting started. So I'm going to walk through this. I'm actually going to move things around a little bit so I can see your comments. And if you have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. If someone is feeling inspired, because I can't put things in the chat, if anyone wants to put that DIY link, it's hollywoodgatekeepers.com/Hollywood DIY, do it yourself. So it's all the things on this page. And when you get there, you'll see that there are other trainings on that page that you can go through, and handouts and that kind of thing. So it's all about how can you create your own career in Hollywood, is that on that page. So there's a lot of trainings on there for you that are all free. Yay for free. So yeah, let's get started. So meta on our getting started. The future is online. Are you? So you are online right now if you're watching this. We are actually doing an event very soon that is talking about AI online. So definitely keep an eye out for that. It's basically to future-proof your career. So we will be going on October 21st and 22nd. We're doing a full 2 whole days working on AI. I'm going to show you ChatGPT and show you how to use it to write screenplays as well as coverage. And it's going to be a really interesting event. So I highly recommend that. I'll give you a link to that too before we go. So the future there's so many things about the future that are online. And so we're going to talk about that at the event, but we're also going to talk about, if you don't want to go online, we're going to talk about, what else you can do. But for today, with the power of showing up, because we are online, you're showing up online, I want to go through some things that I think will really help you move forward in that regard. So I think okay. So if you really think about, that everything is moving online, and what will you do with the new technology that we have that's online? I think I'm going to do Ever the perfectionist. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to share a different screen because it looks a little funky. So hang on one sec. Hold on just one moment here. Sorry about that. I just want to make sure. I'm going to share the correct thing here. I want it. Hold on. Hold on one second. So we're going to talk about the power of showing up, and I'm going to show you this presentation that it's not finding for some reason. There we go. I knew I could do it. Here we go. This is the best. Yeah. Let's go back to the beginning. So yeah, this is perfect. Much better. So we're going to go back in time like Wayne and Garth, and we're going to get started here. Sorry about that. A little bit of a glitch, but I want to make sure that you have the best possible experience, and that one was not fitting in the screen right. It was bugging me. So I want to make sure that you have the best looking one that you can see easily, and we can get started, and I'll show you about this. So let me move so I can see your comments. If you have questions, just feel feel free to ask them and we'll get to them. All right, here we go. So getting started. The future is online. So let's talk about being online and what that means for you. So all of this is part of our Hollywood Gatekeepers screener system, really, getting people prepared to be able to read and analyze screenplays. So with your future online, being able to figure out what you can and can't do online, really understanding what the technology is. That's why we're doing an event on October 21st and 22nd. It really can be your time to find the thing that you want to do, find the niche or however you want to say it, find the thing that really lights you up. There's so many opportunities and different groups. And I want to show you kind of how to hone in on the ones that kind of light you up so that then your decision to show up becomes very, very easy. So as you look, the very first thing, and we talk about this all the time in our programs, is know thyself. We talk about how important it is for you to know yourself in this move, because there's so much happening that if you're not sure what you want or where you want to go or who you want to be or what your career is, then you can get bombarded with information and become overwhelmed and do nothing. So the more that you know who you are, what you want, what your goals are, where you want to spend your time, what lights you up, how much time are you spending on the things that you love versus how much time are you spending running around like a chicken with your head cut off, helping everybody else? How much time of your day is taken for the things that really are for you? And there is, there's a thing of people will be like, well, you don't want to be selfish. But if you're running around caring for everybody and you're not caring for yourself and you're not doing the things that you love, then their resentment can build. All kinds of things can happen from that. You'll be a happier person if you spend a portion of your life making sure that you are doing the things that light you up. And so by really, kind of getting to know yourself, and if you're at all, this is a good exercise, even if you think you do know yourself, is to listen like what people say. Like, do people ask you to do things? Like, what do they ask of you? How do you spend your time? Are there certain favors that people ask of you? What do people say about you? What are the favors? Can you take a look at this? Can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? Can you design my site? Like, really start to listen to what are people helping you, asking you to help them with, because that will be a clue into what could potentially be something in your career, right? People were always asking my advice about their screenplays before I even knew a reader was a thing. And so when I discovered that being a reader was a thing, I was like, I'm already doing this. This is so fantastic. I was already reading screenplays. I was already deep in that world, just didn't know you could get paid for it. So it was like, this was such a natural fit, right? And I know that's true for a lot of our students. So what do people ask you to do? Also, when someone introduces you, when your friend says, this is my friend so-and-so, and they are yada, yada, what do they say about you? And that will also give you insight into how you present yourself to the world. What do people comment on when if you make social media posts? How do people respond to you? What do people say about you? When people go, oh, you're so, funny, prolific, what do they say about you? And it will give you insight into what you can kind of double down on that comes naturally to you. The more we create what comes naturally to us, the more we show up for things that are a natural fit, the easier it all is. And so we really want to try to do that. And then to notice what you do, watch yourself. If you want to know what your values are, what did you do yesterday? What did you focus on? That will really tell you what your values are. If you say that you value wanting to do the screen reader course or you value wanting to write your screenplay, but you spent the day doing something totally different, that's okay. Just notice it. Notice that you did that and then think about what's the value behind that. So if you spent the day, taking the kids everywhere, going to soccer games, you're valuing family, and that's beautiful and that's okay. But just notice what value are you lacking if you're not doing the thing that you want to do. And you can start really, finding ways to incorporate the value. For example, play is a big value of mine. I want to make sure that I play, that life is fun. And there's times when I'm like, oh my gosh, I've just been driving forward with no play. So I'll stop and literally dance around or go for a walk or play with the dog or something to kind of shift my body and my nervous system into a sense of play. Because when I'm in a sense of play, I'm more creative, more ideas come, so it doesn't mean that, if you say that this is a value of yours, a certain thing, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're living that value. And if you want to live that value, you just need to look and see, like, what are you doing? And what are you doing when time flies by? What excites you when you go like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. All this time flew by. A lot of people say that happens when they're writing. Like, what are the things that you're doing and you just can't believe that it's really, we're done now? Like what happens? And that will give you insight into the things that you can kind of double down on, right? And then, and you have this handout, so you can definitely just look on the screen there. You can get this handout so that you can actually print it out and fill it out if you'd like. But really finding your way by looking at a couple of things, like who inspires you. Write down people who inspire you. And we are basically a conglomeration of the 5 or so people that we listen to most. So it doesn't necessarily mean the 5 people that were, our best friend, our spouse, our parent, whatever. It doesn't, I mean, it can be, because those are the people that you hear every day, all day. But if there are people that inspire you and you want to move towards them, you can listen to them most likely. There's so many podcasts and YouTube videos and blah, there's so much content out there right now that if you find someone that inspires you, then you can listen to them, and they can be a voice in your head that helps you move towards what you want to do, that will help you decide what you show up for, because you'll get excited about what they're talking about. So if you cultivate and curate the people that you listen to, then what you show up for will come naturally. You won't have to decide. You'll just be like, oh, I want to go do that. I want to go do this, right? So the power of showing up can really be important and really come clear when you're listening and you're really understanding who inspires you. And what group resonates with you? Is there a section of society that motivates you? Like, explore what that is. There's so many Facebook groups and YouTube channels, and we're talking all online. You can do this in person as well. What places can you go, or where can you go to find your community? We have an amazing community, I have to say. In the Insider Track, which is our membership, like, this community, people have met and got married. It's such a great community. Like, I see people, we have running jokes with everybody. Like, we all know each other. It's just been really great. And I actually pulled up a video yesterday from a couple of years ago, and it was like, oh, we haven't seen this person in a while. Oh, where's that? It was like really, so many people we've met over the years. It's been really amazing. So what is that for you? What group resonates with you? How does this work for you? What is it inspiring you? And then who will you emulate? That's number 3. And we're so fortunate that we have people paving the way, right? And there's so many books, and there's so many things, and there's so much stuff that we can watch, that we can, dive into, and that we can follow. It's so much easier. Back when I started reading, no one was like teaching anything about reading. That wasn't even like a thing. There was a few screenplay books, not even that many, about screenwriting. And I had read all of those, devoured them several times. They were all like, mushed up paperbacks. And so, but there wasn't anything about reading. Now there's like so many resources and, things that you can look at. And there's so many people you can follow. It's really, really exciting. And then really hone in on, what is your industry? What do you want to do? Do you want to be a screenwriter who works with writers? Screen reader that works with writers? Do you want to be a reader that works with producers? Do you want to write screenplays? Do you want to direct, produce? Like, where will you focus? And one of the things, and many of our students, many of the people in our programs focus on many different things. That's fine. You can be a hyphenate, but being able to determine where your focus is and piece it together in a way that's strategic as opposed to chaotic. That's the work that we do inside of Insider Track. That's the work that we do in our programs, is trying to get you to focus on, pick the thing for a while and really, try that one thing and move on from there. And that will really make it obvious as to what you should do, who you should show up for. And then really put some thought into what you will do with your talents and how it will apply online. The rules have changed in terms of, everybody needing to know everything. They talk about the well-rounded education, but nowadays you need information. It's on your phone, or it's in, it's so easy to tap into information now that even in the college experience, people are moving away from that and moving towards, I want to know my craft in whatever the thing is that I want to do. So what is that for you? What is that one thing, or what is that few things? And it can be, the film industry at large, and then you're honing down in within that, but really like picking one and then deciding to know that craft. So that's why we focus on reading and analyzing screenplays. Now, you can use our programs to write a screenplay. Many people do. Definitely you can do that. But we're on reading. I'm a life coach, and I'm helping people with their lives. And I have many coaching programs, and you can coach with me personally. You can coach with me in different groups. We have many coaching things. But ultimately, it's because we want people to be really thoughtful readers, and we want our readers to have really wonderful lives. So that's why, we focus on both things. But it comes back down to that one thing. And sometimes, I'm not going to lie, I want to run off and do a bunch of other stuff. It's definitely definitely part of it. I love setting up this online business, and I love talking about that. And there's a part of me that wants to just run down that path. But instead, I'm trying to hone that into helping my readers build their businesses, their reading businesses, right? Staying in my lane, basically. So, what is that for you? And the more that you know what that is, the easier it is to decide what to show up for, right? So, you can explore possibilities as a writer, like looking at who inspires you, what stories do you want to tell, what can you do to gain credibility, how can you manage yourself, manage your social media, manage the things that you show up for, how can you get the right people to notice you. There's so many wonderful resources out there. We try to provide a lot of trainings. We also recommend Stage 32 is a great resource to get involved in. There's just so many Facebook groups, there's YouTube channels, there's so many ways that you can get involved in things. You can find the director that you want to work with and follow that person and really understand, what they're doing and what they want to do and really get to know them. Like, there's so many ways that you can get to know the people that you want to work with. IMDb is another great resource. So really diving in, if you're a writer, but this works as a reader too, into the kind of people that you want to work with. And then that will determine, okay, so this organization or the Austin Film Festival is about to happen. Should I go there? Like, where are the things that we want to show up to really make that happen? It becomes very simple once you understand what it is that you want, right? So as a reader, what service will you provide? What type of story do you want to develop? Again, same thing. Where do you want to go to gain credibility, and how do you get the right people to notice you? So as a reader, we have the ability to, maybe you love horror films, and so we want to read only horror films, or maybe you want to only work with producers. Maybe you want to only work with writers. Maybe you want to work with both, but you want to be a conduit between the two. Like, there's so many different ways that you can take the reading career and have it branch into an entire business that you create on your own. Or perhaps you're going to go into a development world where you want to be a development executive or even a producer. Or perhaps you want to get on set and you want to be a script supervisor. There's so much to choose from. It's really spectacular. So really understanding what kind of service do you want to provide. Being a reader is a job of service. In my opinion, you are serving the story first. That is your master. You are basically making that story work, whether it's for a writer or for a producer. It works both ways. So these are a training for you as a gift from us, but really the opportunities are building, right? So you start with these steps of really knowing yourself, deciding how you want to start. What is the thing that you want to do? Looking for your mentors, looking for the people that inspire you, and looking to find your tribe, looking to find your people that really, you want to be a part of, you want to really be inspired by. And then you start your map. You start to figure out, okay, so what is the first step that I want to do? And where do I want to go? And then the other thing is just to be open, the more that you're open, I call it your opportunity ears. You put your opportunities ears on and you start to listen for different experiences that might come your way. So the future's online. Are you online? These are the steps that you can take in order to get started, in order to figure out, this path that you want to be on, in order to figure out what do you want to show up for. You showed up here today. If you're watching this and you're still watching this, this shows that you have an idea of being a writer or a reader or something in the film industry. And I hope that we can provide as many things as we can for you in order to help you on that journey. We're very, very sincere about that. So I really want to show you, these different ways that you can show up, these different people that you can follow, these different things that you can do. I want to do these trainings that are no more than half an hour, once a week, that we really kind of get in there to just inspire you, sort of kick you going and get you started and all of that. And yes, Jody, this is being recorded. It will definitely be on our YouTube channel, in our Facebook group. We will also send out a link to it via email, so keep an eye on that, so that you can watch it, take notes down. I would download the handout that you can get at hollywoodgatekeepers.com/Hollywood DIY. So I definitely would do that. And then also, decide the things that you want to show up. Donna, happy Wednesday wisdom. I can say it. That's awesome. I love it with Carolyn. Wednesday wisdom. we might need to coin that phrase. Really good. Yeah. So really lovely to see you guys here. I hope that's helpful. And then we are always doing things. So if you like, if you like this group and you want to be part of this community, we always have things happening. And I do believe that you can get information about AI event. Don't worry, we'll also be sending you information on that via email. If you want to come to learn about AI, we are going to dive into really using ChatGPT. If you're already in our accelerator program, you have a ticket to that already. So we'll be seeing you there on October 21st and 22nd. Having people show up for that, that's going to be really interesting. I can't wait. We're going to have so much fun with it. So I hope that's helpful for you today. And definitely download that handout and really start thinking about it. Just start looking around at basically two main things. One is, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, what are you doing every day? What are you doing with your life? What are you focusing on? Because that will determine your values. And then you'll be able to start kind of figuring out where you want to go from there. And then also noticing, wait, there are values that I want in my life that I'm not seeing me actively do every day. How can I slowly implement them and start doing them? And then the other thing is, like, what do you want to show up for? What are the things that light you up? Where are the people that you love? Like, what are the things that you want to do? So being able to do that is really important, and it makes life fun. And life is supposed to be fun, right? We want to have as much fun as possible. Awesome. I'm glad that it was helpful, and a plethora of ideas, right? It's just giving you kind of a way to sort of focus you. There's a lot. It could be a lot, and it can be overwhelming, but it's not overwhelming if you just know yourself. That makes it to where, oh, this is me, who I am, what I want, who I want to be with. I vision myself in the future, and I'm with so-and-so, these people. Okay, so then if I want that, how do I get there? Okay, what are the groups that support that? Okay, I'm going to show up for that. So instead of running around showing up for everything because you're not getting centered in who you are and what you want, then that's when life becomes chaotic. So understand who you want. Yeah, it's a lot to adjust at once, for sure. I love that you're wanting to ask questions later after. Yeah, for sure. Just put it. It will be in the Facebook group. This post will stay in the Facebook group. You can ask questions right underneath there. I'm more than happy to answer your questions there, as well as on the YouTube channel. You can leave a comment, and we'll get in there and answer your questions for sure. Absolutely, Margaret. Great question. Yeah, so we're always open. And if you ever have questions, you can always email us at team@hollywoodgatekeepers.com as well. So this was a good session. Really great questions. I'm glad that it's given you some ideas, and definitely download that handout. I will put the link to the handout within the post as well, so that you can make sure to get that. All right, you guys, and hopefully we'll see you at the AI event on October 21st and 22nd. You can look inside the Facebook group. You'll see, and I'll put the link on the YouTube channel as well, and you'll see all the information to be able to do that as well. You guys are the best. This has been so much fun. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, take care.